So you can see how this is really opened up. And when that happens, whoever's there first and doing it at a time before it opens up, before it's safe, before it's easy, is going to have a lot of credibility on that topic because they were doing it before everybody else was. And that also is kind of what has made this Nick Fuentes' moment. And I don't care how excluded he is, how banned he is, especially among young conservatives. Probably overwhelmingly young conservative men, though I don't know exactly what his demographic is, but I imagine that that's an important demographic. It's a big, influential demographic. He is, I would say, for conservatives under, 30, 35, 30, arguably the single most influential and admired conservative influencer, right-wing, far-right influencer, whatever you want to call him. And people are going to have to accept that. People are going to have to grapple with that. People are going to have to confront that because that is a reality. And I think people who are worried about it, who think it's dangerous, whatever, really have no one to blame but themselves. How long do we have to learn the lesson that if you try and suppress things and ideas and people through censorship, through punishment, through silencing, through exclusion, you're just going to make them stronger? You can kill them, you can imprison them, but short of that, at some point people are going to say, wait a minute, why is this so taboo? Who declared this all off limits? Who declared this so dangerous that we're not allowed to even hear from it? Especially in the United States, where we're inculcated with this kind of anti-authoritarian sentiment that whoever tells you what you can and can't say, that there's certain things you can't hear. There's kind of a defiant attitude that almost emerges instinctively, at least among healthy people. It does. There's a lot of Americans, pounded into submission, into accepting whatever. But I'm saying there's still that American spirit that I think is one of the great things about the United States. Just kind of like, no, you're not going to decide what we think and what we can listen to and what we can hear. And when you have someone like Nick Fuentes, who they've tried to do everything to destroy and crush and silence because it was used on this one issue, who now breaks through because of a free internet, because Elon put him back on X, because he has Rumble, where he can do his show. You don't need much more than that. And, Fox News is, like all cable networks, dying. They have a lot of 70-year-old people watching it, pretty much exclusively. And it's not exactly a novel observation that people now get their views and ideas and the people they listen to and trust from the internet, from social media, from podcasts, from shows. And he is one of the most influential and formidable figures in conservative discourse, and people can deny that. I'm sure there are a lot of people wanting to, but that's just the reality. And I think it's only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger because of all the reasons I've said. So I think a lot of this conflict between Tucker and Candace on the one hand, Nick Fuentes on the other, and you can put Charlie Kirk, who's had wars with Nick Fuentes, Matt Walsh. It's a lot of it is because of these more substantive, interesting dynamics that I think merit a lot of thought in terms of conservative influencing, conservative discourse, but also our broader discourse as well about what had always been over a line and what is no longer over the red line, because people are starting to get resentful at the people who drew the red lines. And you have more credibility if you're over that red line than if you're too scared to cross it. And whatever you want to say about Nick Fuentes, he's crossed those red lines many times without much fear, and that's given him a great deal of credibility among increasingly large numbers of people.